King Jesus' model for biblical community involved groups within groups within groups. Jesus was first part of the large gathering of God's people, and within that large group, he also had his 12 disciples, a relational community, a small group. And even within that, he had a more intimate, smallest group consisting of Peter, James, and John. And today we want to take a brief moment to think about that last group and how we can follow Jesus in that regard. In Mark 14, Jesus was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane before his arrest and crucifixion. And the text tells us that he was deeply distressed and troubled. And in this troubling moment, Jesus had next to him Peter, James, and John. These were three intimate companions that Jesus could be vulnerable with and transparent in front of. He asked them to pray. We need people like that in our lives, people we can be real with, people we can be honest with, and people who will help us grow to become more and more like King Jesus. James 5:16 says that we should confess our sins to each other and pray for each other so that we might be healed. We're all battling sin, but we don't have to battle it alone. Instead, we can carry each other's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. When confessing sin, it's not always comfortable or even appropriate to do so in the context of the life group meeting. And so we encourage life group members to identify 2 to 3 gender-specific members within the group that you can meet with at a separate time to confess sin, to confess weaknesses, to confess brokenness, and to encourage and pray for one another. These smallest groups are what we call DNA groups. And these DNA groups really work at the heart level. It's when we're honest and real that we can begin to experience God's healing grace in our lives. Let's have friends in our lives the way Jesus had Peter, James, and John, and let's follow Jesus together.